G'day, punters, and welcome to another remote edition of the Wild West. Brought to you by Betfair Australia. Bet smarter, not harder. Now, the Perth racing guru Terry Layton is on holidays. He's having a spiritual retreat down south, so not available this week. But do not matter because we have got the big gun in BJ Ryan, racing royalty, author of the Leg Up, and the better half of Perth's #1 racing WA podcast, the 1-1. BJ, thanks for coming on.
Thanks, Cripper. Very, very pleased to be running through the banner, making my debut here on the Wild West. And tell you what, they're big shoes to fill, aren't they? The PRG has gone MIA, and we'll see if we can find some winners here for our avid followers here at the Wild West.
100%. It's good. Normally, you're the one that's introducing me, so it's nice to have the role reversal. So, thanks for coming on. So, firstly, we're just going to kick off. Last week, we spoke about Betfair had some really big news brewing, and if you've been on social media early in the week, there's been a couple of big things. Firstly, as of May the 1st, the WA commission rate on all racing, pacing and chasing has been dropped from 8% to 6%, which is, it's just going to be huge, isn't it?
Huge, 25% saving to customers there. And and according to Betfair, the plan, and no doubt this will, it'll further the participation, liquidity, better prices, just a better product all around for WA racing.
Yeah, the one thing I'm really excited about is just turnover. Like, the really big betting syndicates, like, a 2% reduction, or like you said, 25% decrease in commission is just going to be everything for them. So, all of a sudden the WA racing market's just going to be so attractive, and expecting a massive spike in turnover, and then obviously, getting less commission is never hurts either. And then even fresher off the press, as of just a couple of hours ago, Betfair have also announced Australia-wide, I think. It is Australia-wide. A rebate system where if you do your trading earlier, I guess with Betfair, probably the one downside of betting there is that you can't really get your bets on before, much time before the jump. So, they brought in a rebate where if you do your trading earlier, then you're going to be getting even less commission. So I think, have you got the actual rebates up in front of you?
Yeah, I do, Cripper. So this is for the month of May. If you bet 3 hours before start time, you get an 80% rebate on commission. Between 2 and 3 hours, 70%. Between 1 and 2 hours, 60%. 15 minutes and 1 hour prior to start time, it's 50% rebate on commission. So, and then the 0 to 15 minutes, which is at the moment where most people play, there's that remains as is. But if you're willing to go early and add some liquidity to the market, then for the month of May at least, you're going to get rewarded with that significant rebate there. So it's a good 1-2 punch, isn't it? With the 8% down to 6%, and now this rebate on commission for people who get in early and add liquidity to the market. It's good to see the Betfair bringing these initiatives into play and try to get the best possible product for us to bet into.
Yeah, 100%. I'm really looking forward to, as of Saturday, I'm looking forward to looking at the markets, say an hour or two before, and seeing if more money is getting traded. And it's exciting, and it just seems to be this day and age where the corporates are sort of seem allergic to taking any bets, and they're getting worse and worse. And then Betfair is just leading the way. So as it always was, there's no better place to bet than with Betfair. Anyway.
Just a question for you, Crippo. So I've got a young family, and work from home dad, and my day is pretty structured when it comes to getting kids to school, picking up kids from school, all that sort of stuff. So I don't get a huge opportunity, and I've actually made a conscious decision not to bet early into fixed odds markets. So all my wagering is the last 15 minutes on Betfair. It just gives me that 15 minutes to sum up the race and crystallise what I want to do. It also allows me to take as much information leading up to that 15 minutes prior to start time. So I've got I've got the weather, the wind. I've got all the latest scratchings. I've got as much as I could possibly handle for me to make that clear and concise decision. So it's going to be. I'm going to have a play around on Saturday, definitely about maybe betting into that 1 hour to 15-minute bracket and getting that 50% reduction on a rebate there on commission. But just out of curiosity, because you have a more significant, a bigger player than I am in the market. What's your Betfair strategy, and how will the changes affect your business model?
Yeah, look, admittedly, I am a bit of a sucker for. I like attacking the early prices, but you're 100% correct there. Where like it's not uncommon for me to have an early fixed odds bet, and then due to like a track bias or a late scratching, which can impact the race, where I almost feel like I've done my money before the race starts. So yeah, it's something where, as I said before, as fixed odds are harder to get on, it's something that I'll be definitely looking forward to sort of changing my strategy a bit, and using Betfair more and more. So yeah, it's exciting stuff.
And hopefully that increased liquidity can help guys get set, especially late. So
yeah, definitely. Like imagine if the same markets had the same liquidity 15 minutes before as what they do at the moment, say 3 or 4 minutes before. So yeah, it's going to be huge. I think.
Excellent.
All right, good stuff. Now I'll quickly touch on last week. Wasn't much joy. I kicked off the day with a horse called Astaba. Got the price sort of 360 to 250. Led, got taken on, but it was still pretty plain. The horse that did all the pressuring beat at home, so no good there. The other one I threw out was Tycoon Storm, but with the caveat on it, if we saw black odds, which we didn't end up seeing, it sort of started about $1.60. Ran okay, but it was no match for the sit sprint Cryptic Love. So
Do you think the tempo of that race just brought about her undoing, Tycoon Storm?
I don't know. I just think that in a small field, when Cryptic Love, and we'll touch on actually because I'm going to give it my ride of the week. I just thought she was almost a level with Tycoon Storm on the top of the straight. And if you put those two horses together, Cryptic Love it's got a pretty devastating short, sharp sprint. So not to mention, I think I might as well touch on it now. That was my ride of the week. So Jason Whiting was 3-back fence, last in small field. Didn't go, got lucky, but and if he got blocked, everyone would have been jumping up down him. So, but he got the luck that he wanted, and did go around the horse. And I think on the day as well, with the rail going back to true, that inside pad in the straight seemed the place to be. So yeah, rode for luck, got it, and so Jason Whiting gets my ride of the week.
Well, it's interesting because when you said that to come up with a ride of the day and a horse to follow was Jason Whiting. Was that the ride of the day, or did the planets just align for him? I think there's a bit of both there, but uninterrupted momentum, sit and sprint horse. He almost knew that Lucy Warwick was going to come off, leaders back, and then Jade McNaught on a leader. Not many. If you watch her on leaders, she always gives a bit of space to horses on their inside. Often rolls outwards, 1 to 2 horses on straightening. So it's almost as if she sort of banked on that happening, and when the gap sort of appeared, he sort of just darted through and was just too good for him and got the run and good ride. He's still he's been riding for a long time, Jason Whiting, 3 decades, I reckon, and but he still boots home a heap of winners. He's been a bloody good jock over the years.
Yeah, for sure. He does. He cops a bit of criticism and from myself at times, because he's almost too patient. But on those sit sprint horses he seems to like ride a lot of winners in staying races because of his patience. And if you like a horse that's going to get back, and Jason Whiting's on it, then you wouldn't have much hesitation in backing him. But I'm more of an on-speed man, so he probably he doesn't really suit my narrative. And also, good point about Jade rolling off the fence on the leader, because straight away you only have to go back to the last race from Ascot yesterday when she was on Oihana and wobbled off the turn and let the Sentimental
Queen, was it?
Yeah, Sentimental Queen through on the box seat and got the run. So good pick up there. Do you have a ride of the week for us?
Yeah, look, I was definitely honourable mention to Fishy, Jason Whiting. Another honourable mention to I thought the ride of Natasha Faithful on She's God to You, I reckon you would have appreciated that one, Cripper. Out in front, rolling, faster than Genuine Tempo. Like Tash rides a heap of winners in the bush, like the outer provincial circuit. She's a good lightweight jock. Doesn't get a heap of opportunities in town, but she grasped it with both hands last Saturday. She got thrown on She's God to You, 54.5, found the front. But sometimes when young horses stepping up to 1400, jockeys can grab hold and try to walk them and overdo it in front. But Tash was just backed herself in. She knew what she had underneath her. Rolled along, made it a genuine test of 1400 meters, and got the money. So it was good to see Tash. She didn't deviate from what she wanted to, from what she does, I suppose, on the provincial circuit to the city, and she, as I said, she was rewarded for a rare Metro win, and that She's God to You looks like it's got plenty of upside, and that was a good win. Ran good time, was strong, beat some good horses as well. But I thought the ride of the day had to go to Paddy Carberry on Pansdown. He horse was sort of, he was in a tough spot, sort of crowded, lost ground at the start, and maybe it's sort of in run. You probably didn't really want to be on Pansdown, Cripple. So 3 back the fence, ended up, and then horse sort of got travelling, and he just had to wait for right for luck a little bit. But what I liked about from Paddy Carberry was when he straightened up, there was one run there, and Chris Parnham was going for it on City Circle, and Paddy said, well, I've got to go as well. He sort of pushed through that gap. They burst through together. It was real aggression, courage, pushed through, copped a bit of a bump or two, was able to balance up Pansdown again, and got the best out of that horse late. He managed to negotiate a tricky situation without losing too much momentum, and got the cash. So not only did he have to go to perhaps plan B after a dodgy getaway, so to speak, but he had to ride for luck. But when the gap came, he made sure that he took it. So I thought that was a good steer from Patrick Carberry.
Yeah, I couldn't agree more. Actually, he was in contention for mine too, and just the fact that I think he got reprimanded for the ride, which just shows that he obviously didn't get suspended and didn't cause an accident, so he hasn't done anything wrong. But he's really riding at such a competitive level where he's pushing the boundaries, and I reckon if he'd erred on the side of caution, he might have ended up getting blocked, and it would have made all the difference. So can see he coming.
I tell you what, I know Simon A. Miller and Paddy Carberry had a bit of a spell from each other for a while there, but whenever they team up, they tend to churn out plenty of winners. So it's good to see Paddy back in that strong camp, and no doubt he'll keep punching winners home for Simon A.
Yep, no, for sure. I'm going to give my horse to follow to Magical Rain. Was first start. Kira actually rode it. Look, it looked like it was sort of just a good pipe opener. I think they dropped it straight back out to last. Was racing out of his grade, flashed home. Just looked like a horse just saying, be on me next start. I know if he draws a barrier, he can settle a lot closer. And I'm not sure, he was in the Goldfields last season, but based on that first up effort, you'd have to think that Durant would probably rather keep him in the city over the winter, wouldn't you?
Yeah, I think he's matured and developed since then. I think he's better than that. I even liked his lead-up trials. I thought they were really encouraging, and it wasn't a surprise to me to see him flashing late. He was my run of the day as well. I don't think too many people would have missed him, but just the way that he savaged the line suggests that he's in for a ripping prep. Magical Rain, and I've said it on the 1-1 podcast for the last couple of weeks. Adam Durant, I believe that they sort of hit a bit of a flat spot, but last month, 6 weeks, definitely back in business big time, and you can invest on Adam Durant trained horses with plenty of confidence at the moment.
That'll be a good segue into my best of the day, but we'll save that for later. All right, we'll get into this week. Rails at 2 meters, light winds, they shouldn't be a factor, but what might be is the wet weather that is Thursday Arvo, the wet weather that is about to hit us. So what are you thinking track condition was?
Well, we're just chatting just off there before we started recording, and on the Bureau of Meteorology website at the moment, we're forecast between 8 and 15 mil of rain. It's on Thursday afternoon, evening, and then the showers will ease and probably finish up Friday morning. But we could get as little as 8 mil over the next 24 hours, or we could get as much as 18 mil, according to the forecast. So it really is going to be dependent upon just exactly how much falls on Ascot Racecourse. Obviously, Chris Nation and his team will adjust for that with their watering program and back off the sprinklers and try to maximise the rainfall as much as possible. For me, I'm thinking there's definitely going to be some cutting there. I'm looking for I was operating around a soft 5. Cripper, I don't know about you.
Yeah, I was the same. I was hoping a soft 5. I think at worst would be a soft 6. But yeah, like you said, the forecast, the rain's been there in the forecast for a couple of days, so they should have adjusted accordingly. And I think everyone would be happy with a soft 5 based on what's going to happen in the next sort of 12 to 24 hours. So, all right, this week we are going to discuss race 1, 4, 5. 7 because it's an absolute cracker, and then race 8 is the country championship final. Looks an absolute raffle on paper, but it's a feature, so we will quickly touch on that. So, BJ, on the leg up, I saw that you had race 1 as your best today. So let's kick us off.
Yeah, before I came on to the Wild West, I thought I'd brush up on what Terry and yourself spoke about on last week's edition, and I know that you made Acromantula your best of the day 2 weeks ago, and duly saluted, and I was pretty keen on him that day. First up, out in front on a leaders track, and well rated in front by Joey Azzopardi. Acromantula coming off some good trial form. Ran some good time, 58.33 for the 1,000, beat some nice 3-year-olds, including Vedette de Star. However, on Saturday, just with this rain coming, I'm thinking it might balance out the track, hopefully, because it has been sort of on pace-ish, close to the rail, favoured. But that is Ascot in summer, and that's all when it's warm. That's to be expected. But Vedette de Star finished third, close to within just shy of a length of Acromantula in a very similar race 2 weeks ago. I feel as though Chris Parnham can maybe perhaps have Vedette de Star 1 to 2 lengths closer to Acromantula on Saturday. I do like to play in small fields. This is a 6-horse field, and I'm putting a line through basically 4 of them. Although Queen Brown is a class filly, but I expect her just to be sort of drifting back and running on. So it really is a match race, Acromantula, Vedette de Star, and a lot of it will come down to, I guess, how the track's playing in a way. But Vedette de Star gets the weight swing, obviously, having been beaten by Acromantula last start. But I think she got a more positive map. Has really strong closing speed. This daughter of Zeus Star, Acromantula, finds the front. Does he find the front? That's a question I might have asked you, Cripper. Be interesting to see what Jason Brown does on critical altitude. But I was thinking Acromantula finds the front. Vedette de Star just needs to be within striking distance, and with her closing speed, I think she can get over the top of them. I thought she was a 270 chance, and she's about that. You can get a bit of a 280, 290 around at the moment. There's been a bit of money in the early markets for Acromantula. He's a clear favourite, but I thought Vedette de Star could get the chockies there. But just interested to see, do you think after pulling so hard in the breeze last start, critical altitude, that they will be looking to try and lead on Saturday?
Yeah, look, this is the $1 million question. Obviously, the horse you mentioned was there was a bit of Twitter controversy about what Brad Parnham did the start before, where he looked like the front was his for the taking, and he decided to restrain, which the horse definitely didn't appreciate. The only thing but after hearing Brad's reasoning for it, which makes complete sense, I just wonder whether the stable intentions might be they know Acromantula will go to the front roll, so you'd get that lovely card up on his back. So, but yeah, that's a question where you'd love to know what the stable tactics were before the race, because I really think that's probably the key to this event. If Jason Brown's looking to lead at all costs, then an Acromantula has to sit in the breeze. Well, I think Vedette de Star is going to be super hard to hold out. But if Acromantula does find the front, I don't think there's going to be much pressure, because critical altitude might be on his back and getting that slipstream. So he might be able to do what he wants again. I know he gets a 2 kilo swing in Vedette's favour, but over 1,000 metres, I don't think weight is as important. And the other thing is, Acromantula on debut ran super on a soft 7, so he's probably the one that's got the wet track form. Look, yeah. I'm not keen to play this race just because of those early speed map queries. I marked Acromantula favourite and 220 to Vedette to Stars 270. So for the sake of a tip, Acromantula, but yeah, I couldn't agree with you more. I think this is a match race. I think Queen Brown is in the market $7.50. I couldn't get it anywhere near that. Thought the trial wasn't that flash, and she had the blinkers on as well from memory, which I don't think she wore in her trial first up from last preparation. So just not too sure how she's going.
Yeah, all I'll say about that critical altitude is, I think long term they probably see her teaching her more by, rather than just being a jump and run filly, to maybe take a sit, grab hold. So I tend to agree with you. I think if the plan was to give her something to chase, and they were sort of very keen for that to be the case last start, that knowing how much gate speed Acromantula has, I wouldn't think that they'd bounce out critical altitude and try to lead up Acromantula. Might as well take its back, allow critical altitude to settle and see what she's capable of in the box seat. So the only thing that I thought might help out from a speed map point of view is Simon A. Miller's got the stablemate Miss Lavinia, Cash Faithful on board. I wonder if she rolls forward, sits outside Acromantula, maybe applies a bit of a squeeze to Acromantula, the likely leader, prior to straightening. But yeah, again, it's really flip of the coin. But I just thought Vedette to Star could close late. But yeah, race one, interesting little 6-horse field to kick off today.
Yeah, definitely. That's a race where I probably won't be having a bet, but yeah, pretty excited to watch it. And yeah, just like you touched on Miss Lavinia, I know jumping from a maiden to a Saturday 3-year-old event, but yeah, her maiden win was really impressive, just on the wrong side of the Pinjarra track. So I think she's definitely a horse with upside and might be one to follow, whether it's not on Saturday, but moving forward, if she finds something a bit easier. All right, we'll move on to race 4, which is the staying race. Now, again, as you know, BJ, I'm not a huge fan of anything sort of over 2,000 metres. So again, I know you don't mind one in this. You want to take us away?
Sure, Cripper. So this is race 4, 2,200 metre race. We've got it's always a rule of thumb, WA Racing, Adam Durant trained stayers, bet against them at your peril. So just for the viewers' context, Adam Durant has 2 runners in this race. Number 1, Come Right Back, currently best available $5, and Treat Yourself, number 9, best available $2.90. So he's sort of got the market cornered, and it's a brave man to tip against Adam Durant in these distance races, because he's just a champion trainer, especially of stayers, and just an absolute genius conditioner. However, I'm going to go against the rule of thumb. I think this is a really good option for number 4, Black Shadow. He sort of struck a purple patch of form basically in April last year, April 2020, and he won twice at Ascot, once over 2,100, once over 2,200. From there, his form sort of tapered off, didn't really come up last preparation, and looked like he was going to struggle again this campaign after a couple of plain performances, first up and second up. But he really, Jimmy Taylor must have changed a few things at home, because he really hit back hard third up, where he upset Big Bada Boom over 1,800 metres on April 3. That was a good win. Sat just behind the leaders, and Jason Brown made that sustained move and put pressure on Big Bada Boom and basically outstayed him. That was a good win. And then just to show that he'd held that form, he followed that up with another 1,800 metre Ascot performance on April 17, where he ran second, just pipped on the line by your Dreamin', who sort of just followed the rail and got the rails run, and just sort of bloused him. And almost as if Black Shadow, I just feel as though if the race was a stride or two further, that Black Shadow would have kicked back and pulled away again. So the way that he found the line last start, I suggest he's looking for the 2,200 metres now at this stage of his preparation, has shown that he's a more than capable stayer on his day. Last time he won at Ascot over 2,200 metres, he carried 58. So the 58.5, he's already established that ability to carry weight over a journey. And to top it off, he gets gate 4. Jason Brown rides this horse really well. I think he's going to land potentially 1-1, get the run of the race. And if he's rock hard fit now at this stage of his preparation, I think he's going to outstay them, Black Shadow. Again, obviously scared of the Durant trained pair, but for me, I really like Black Shadow, and I think there's a bit of $5 around, a bit of $5.50 around at the moment. I think that's quite good shopping.
Yeah, I was going to ask you, like, once you said that you were keen, I did have a quick look at the race, and yeah, Black Shadow sort of seemed to pick himself. Now, I just want to get your thoughts. I know, as you said, you want to respect the direct runners, but I just thought at a glance that Treat Yourself looked awfully short, stepping up from a sort of midweek class 3 to a 66 plus and losing Pike. Do you think 280 is rock bottom, isn't it?
Yeah, I agree, 100%. Losers, as you said, Losers Pike got plenty of favours out in front. I think he ran around 152 for the 1800 metres. So just cruised along out in front, pressureless, and then Pikey just clicked into gear, and she sort of just strolled clear. Look, don't get me wrong, I think Treat Yourself as a developing type is going to win a heap of races, especially in the 2,000 metre plus bracket. But from a price point of view, 290 minus Pike, rising in grade against some seasoned campaigners here. Then, I'm happy to take Treat Yourself on.
Yeah, no, okay. Might even to celebrate Betfair's big promos this week. I might even have to jump on Twitter and put it up as a lay, I reckon. So I don't have much luck back in any stage, so I might try my hand being the bookie. So all right. So Black Shadow for you, 550, good price.
I think so. Yeah.
Yeah. No, I like it. All right, that's actually a good segue on to race 5 for me, because I am not only going to follow that Black Shadow form line, but also jump on a Durant trained runner, and that is Off We Go. Now, he's a 3-year-old. He's been running in those 3-year-old distance features, ran third in the JC Roberts and third in the Mel Vista, both to Western Empire, who I think we'd both agree is very, very talented. But his last run impressed me just as much. He was in a 66 plus. He was actually he wasn't below the minimum, but with his 3-year-old allowance, he didn't get all the weight off that he deserved, and ran really well. Yep. Yeah, beating a length behind Black Shadow and Your Dreamin'. So he drops back to a 60 plus. I think this looks a fair bit easier. And as I touched on before, with the 3-year-old allowance, he only actually rises half a kilo for that drop in grade. As you said, the Durant stable's starting to find some form. Clint Johnson Port, he loses Chris Parton, but you don't really lose much when CJP jumps on, especially on a sit sprinter. Drawn perfectly in barrier 5 to settle sort of just in behind the speed. I think the main danger is Beret, who's drawn 10 and also loses Pike, and will probably be back near last. And yeah,
35 days between runs as well, Beret.
35 days between runs. And other than that, in my market, like if you sort of go down the order, with no disrespect to the horses, it sort of looks like almost a midweek race. So yeah, I thought Off We Go really picked himself. He looks like he deserves to break through this preparation. I marked him 270. I think best available is 290. So look, I'm not rushing to dive in at the price. I'm not sure if we'll see better on the day. I'm just sort of sitting on my hands at the moment. But yeah, probably you're probably on what I don't really think is overly exciting betting day. I reckon he looks the one for me.
Yeah, I agree. I had him on top as well. I was sort of, I guess, hoping and praying that there'd be a 3 in front of Off We Go, and there very well may be on the Betfair exchange, but not if Daniel Cripps and his merry men are getting involved. I might have to break my rule and go early. But no, I think those form lines just stand out like a beacon, and especially like I tried to make a really strong case for Black Shadow in the race before, and what was Off We Go was less than a length behind Black Shadow, drops in grade, good draw. The map just opens up beautifully, especially with Beret, Fry's Fantasia. They'll be getting back. You've got Uncle Lino and Proceeds of Crime going forward, Karanis going forward. So really, he's going to land midfield at worst, isn't he? Hopefully one off, CJP stalking and getting a real good sider on the horses in front. I thought Off We Go picked itself again. It was just a matter of price. I'll be looking to follow the trends on Betfair on Saturday. One runner I thought could be a bit of a fly in the ointment horse was Chief Archer. Really liked his run over 2,100 metres in the race, won by Final Chill 2 weeks ago. Gets blinkers on from a sort of a highish draw in 9. I wouldn't be surprised. Last start, they first crack at 2,100. They went back to last rode quite patiently and conservatively. Wouldn't be surprised if he bounces out and tries to get into a spot there. Jason Whiting with Chief Archer coming across with Uncle Lino. So if he settles first four, his Bunbury form, I think he was Bunbury Horse of the Year. His Bunbury form was really, really good. I thought that was a encouraging staying effort last start. Back to the 18 with blinkers on, he could trouble potentially. Off we go. But really, if you're taking a line through class and you're taking a line through especially weights as well, 55.5, off we go. Western Empire form, it's hard to look past Adam Durant's number 8 there, and I'm alongside you there, Cripper. Off we go on top.
Yeah, nice. I think from a price perspective, like obviously I want to be on, but it's that risk versus reward. Like I can't see Off We Go really trading. I couldn't imagine it trading 240 or shorter, but I could imagine it sort of trading 340 or maybe 350 or something like that. So I reckon I don't even think I haven't backed it on the fixed odds, and I don't even think from a tipping point of view of Crips Racing I'll be sending it out tomorrow morning. So I reckon I might just wait and send it out as sort of a top tote or a Betfair starting price play.
Yeah, I wouldn't be surprised if there's a bit of money for a horse like Karanis, back to 1,800 metres. This might sound funny, but I think Keshaw going back on is a positive after Lakdar Ramoli probably overdid it out in front last start. It's going to get a nice trail, only 53.5. So the people who are sort of weight sensitive and that are like, considering his last 3 starting prices have been 320, 310, and that was 550 last start, first attempt over 2,100. From a good draw and low weight, I think there might be a bit of money for Karanis. So, but I'm sort of with you. I'll be surprised if Off We Go firms too much from its current best available. What are we? 290, 280, something like that. So, yeah. You'll see again. Betfair.com.au.
No, exactly. There's going to be no better week than this week to try and trade on Betfair, because you get the lower commission and you'll also might get a rebate if you trade before the 15 minutes before the jump. So yeah, that's what I'll be looking to doing. Now, look, I don't think either of us have much of an opinion tip-wise of race 7, but we really do have to touch on it because it's an absolute cracker. It's over 1,000 metres, 72 plus, where we see the return of Thistle Testia, who, look, has all the talent in the world, but between the ears, she just can't seem to have got it right so far in her career. But, what's your thoughts on it? Firstly, from a speed map point of view, even though it's 1,000, I actually think it probably looks a pretty good map for Thistle Testia. Do you agree?
I agree, yeah. Interesting to see what they do with what Christy Bennett does with Gemma's son. But for me, I don't think if they want the lead, if they want to cross to the rail in front, Thistle Testia, and she's on her best behaviour, of course, Gripper, because everyone knows that, she's, talent through the roof, but is properly bonkers, Thistle Testia. And if she's on her best behaviour and is switched on and game day, then crash across, find the rail in front, and I think Clint Johnston Porter will just be hanging on.
Yeah, I agree. Like, I mean, if you look at it, yeah, I'm always in the camp of this Testia. Like, I think if you look at her trials, she just couldn't have been, and this is exactly with this Testia. She had 3 trials leading into this preparation. 2 of them were absolute 10 out of 10s, beat home Massimo and Free Trade. But out of those 3, they were the first and third. In the middle, she lost her rider at the gate. So that just sums up this Testia in a nutshell. But
it does,
I think she'll judge at the front. She might have a horse like Glasgow Girl who will get on her back. I'm surprised with the riding change. Like Ryan Hills, maybe he can't ride 54. Is that why he?
Yeah, wait. I would say,
okay. So
I think maybe a horse like Captain King, Jay McNaught, will roll forward and try to be the breeze horse.
Yep. And so I'm just thinking. So obviously we better touch on horses. Probably not mainly Miss Kentucky, who's your $2.40 favourite. Absolutely flying. She's won 6 of 7 or 7 from 8. But I mean, if Thistle Testia sort of gets her own way out in front, and then Glasgow Girl's on his back, and there might even be a horse that's 3 back the fence. So Miss Kentucky's 4 back the fence, and I just don't really know you'd want to be on, especially by that stage of the day with a bit of rain around the rails chopped up. Don't know. I'm
pretty thin too. Pretty thin price wise as well.
Yeah, 225 now. So this will test you 480. Probably the reason I actually mark this will test your favourite, but look, I've got some reservations. Obviously, her mental state makes it a risky betting proposition. But the other one that's at the moment, which is why I don't really want to dive in, is that Riverbo's a $5.50 chance. I've marked him a lot longer than that. I think the weight might finally catch up to him, even though he's in white hot form. But saw on Twitter this morning, Bruce Watkins said that he banged his head in the yard and he's probably more unlikely than likely to line up. So from my market point of view, I've got him close to double figures and he's only a $5.50 chance. So it impacts, the deductions would be a bigger impact than what my market would change the prices. So just holding off for now, and probably won't be getting involved early again. But I think if Miss Kentucky gets heavily supported like she has been most starts, and I might even I wouldn't want to go overboard. Might even have saying on this will test you to see if she can lead all the way and show her true ability, because I mean she really did set the world alight early, like that. Her second career start when she won by nearly 7 under her handbrakes, rated absolutely through the roof, and she probably hasn't really lived up to that since. But you know the motor's there if she can get her head right.
You don't really know. To be fair, she hasn't really done a lot wrong. She's had a couple of. It's probably more how she's performed against market expectations. So I think she's had 7 starts. There's been odds on 5 times. 2 starts ago, she was $2 something, and then last start she was a bit longer, and then that was just too bad to be true, and she hasn't been seen since. So obviously there was genuine excuses for that performance, and the thing is that on Saturday you're going to get $5 or better to play, to find out. So it's not like you're taking, like Miss Kentucky being in the race is almost a gift price-wise for This Will Test You. And when I did the race initially, I was like, okay, well, This Will Test Your lead. I think Riverbow might be able to hold up leaders back, and that means Miss Kentucky's 3-back defence following Riverbow. Riverbow has that beautiful cruising speed on the turn. He's able to side his way through. Chris Parner will be following Riverbow, and Miss Kentucky will get out and launch. But the more that I'm looking at the race, and the more that I'm discussing it with you, I just think this is almost just a perfect setup for This Will Test You. You're going to lead. You got the price to play. Sure, she might carry on like a pork chop and defeat herself, but you know what her baseline is if she turns up. And is Miss Kentucky going to be able to spot her 3, 4, potentially 5 lengths at the 400 or at the 500 and be able to gun her down over 1,000? Don't know. It's a good race, good test for Miss Kentucky. I think we'll find out exactly how good she is. But initially, I was like, this is Miss Kentucky's race, but I'm really, really warming to This Will Test You. Yeah. It's sort of starting to crystallise now that she's the bet.
Yeah, no, that's the thing. And it's one of those races where hindsight's going to be such a powerful tool, because either way, if you back her and she wins, you go, I can't believe I got $5 for a horse that's got all the talent in the world. But if she loses, you go, well, what am I doing? Because she's not right in the head. So why am I, parting ways with my hard earned on a horse that's just not there mentally? But and again, really exciting race. We've probably been rude not to touch on Gemma's son, who was absolutely enormous last start after missing the kick. And look, again, one of those horses that from the gate maps well and gets in okay at the weights after the acclaim for Bennett, who rode Highland Beat really well yesterday. So she's pretty capable on those sort of horses that sit right up on speed. So probably the race of the day definitely the race of the day for mine, and looking forward to it. But just want to see what Riverbow does, if he comes out in the morning or not. But potentially I won't want to be going silly, but might have something on This Will Test You.
Yeah, I might follow you in there, Cripper. One thing before we leave this race, quick shout out to one of our best jockeys, Mitchell Pateman. He has recently become dual licensed trainer jockey. He was saddling up his first runner as a trainer on Saturday in that particular race. Number 6, Speeding Comet. Joseph has a party to ride, but Mitch Pateman, he's the trainer, and former Simon A. Miller horse. And the horse will be wearing the colours that Mitch's late father Michael. He was a top trainer back in the day. That they were the Michael Pateman colours, the black with the Cerise Maltese cross. So good luck to Mitch in his new venture as a trainer, but hopefully, because he's such a good jockey, we get to see a lot more years of him riding in the saddle because he's a gun.
Yep, no, well said, BJ. Yeah, good luck, Mitch. One of the good blokes and also one of the better larrikins in the racing game. So good luck with the training. So all right, we're going to last race we're going to touch on. We've It's already probably running a little bit over time, and this race looks an absolute nightmare on paper, but it is a feature. So we'll quickly touch on it. But that is the regional championship final. Is that right? West Speed Autumn final, something like that. $100,000 race. Jesus Christ, BJ, what do you reckon?
Yeah, I recorded the 1-1 earlier with Peter and Scotty McCormack from McCormack Bookmakers, big fans of Betfair. And my comment to them was I thought I did a really tremendous job narrowing this 15-horse field down to 5 genuine winning chances. So, look, my 5 genuine winning chances, obviously, Image Keeper picks itself, won 3 in a row this prep, and should get a suitable map, rising to 59 kilos. So the handicap is starting to catch up with it, but really progressive horse, destined for bigger and better things. So he picks himself. But it's going to be one of those races. If you want to play around Image Keeper, you're going to get a bit of bang for your buck. So the other horses I thought that could potentially win is City Circle, in form for Neville and Chris Parnham, 1,200 metres. I know she has won 1,200 a couple of times in the past, but I think she's more effective 1,000, 1,100 metres these days. But she can win. Fiery Water, Adam Durant, Clint Johnston Porter, we've spoken about them a lot on the Wild West thus far. It can win. And Michelle Marbell for Wendy Miller, last start Pike winner for and Kira Hill jumps on board. That's a good ride for Kira, down on 54 kilos, rolls forward, tough mare. She can run a cheeky race. But the horse I landed on was Lace Vinsky, recent addition to the Steve Wolf Racing Stables, has had 2 starts for Wolfie, a bit of a pipe opener first up. And then I thought his last start third behind City Circle and Fiery Water was really good. On a day that suited rails in run and on-speed horses, he was 3 and 4 wide, backish, and I think it was a 7-horse field, and attacked the line with gusto. I think he's going to be even better suited third up over 1,200 metres from a good draw. Stable jock Sean McGrady goes on board. He can fire him out and land somewhere in the first 4 or 5 in transit. Currently $13. I marked him equal second favourite around the $750 mark. So I thought for a bit of value in the feature of the day, the West Speed Autumn Series, $100,000 race. I think that Lace Vinsky will give you a bit of bang for your buck. But it has only won the 2 from 22, but we'll see whether the new environment down in the Great Southern can turn him around. But $13, I think that's a reasonable price to have a look at Lace Vinsky, the big one.
His form back in the Simon Miller days, although like you said, he didn't win out of turn. It's a really good form. So would not surprise to see him bob up in a race like this. I don't even share the same amount of confidence with you. I reckon I'll be taking at least 10 in the quaddie for the sake of a tip. I'm going to go with Morgs Freeman at double figures. I actually thought he was a better run than the favourite Image Keeper at their last start. From Barry 9 is a touch wide, but there's a field of 16, so he might just be able to sort of park 3 deep with cover midfield, and he'll be finishing hard. Probably my only knock on him, he doesn't really seem to have his wet track form doesn't seem to be that good. So if it is a soft 6 or there's a bit of sting out of the ground, that I don't know if he comes unstuck with that. But look, I had Image Keeper on top, but I've marked the race $6 a field. $6 a field. So at $3.90, he's definitely unders, I thought. Look, almost a field job in the quaddie as these sort of these regional championship heats are. So leave me out, and well done to whoever finds the winner, I reckon.
Yeah, and then things don't get any easier in the last either, Cripper. So for those who are looking to play late in the day at Ascot, then say your prayers, because it's going to get pretty tough towards the end of the day. I will say before we part ways, Cripper, that the Northern Race Club kicks off its season on Sunday, and we have an absolutely outstanding edition of the $150,000 Group 3 Northern Stakes. The Northern Mazda Stakes houses for a field Bella Road, Free Trade, Rock Magic, Massimo, Money Matters, Cup Night, Flirtini, Floyd, Unitime, Third in a Railway, Great Shot, Railway winner, and Caracapo. Tell you what, you don't see many better races than that on the WA racing calendar, and then that sort of propels us into the Belmont Winter and feature races such as the Roma Cup, Belmont Sprint, and Hyperion Stakes. But what a race that is on on Sunday, and looking forward to that one. That should be an absolute cracker.
Yeah, definitely, and it also adds a bit of intrigue that all but two of the horses are first up. So yeah, I'm actually don't know if you've already had a look. I haven't yet, but I'm really excited to after we finish this, I'm going to hop up upstairs and get stuck into Northern. That'll probably be the first race I do, and it's also exciting just seeing that lineup. We're in for a big winter, aren't we? There's some real quality running around at the moment, so it puts us in good stead.
And I'm sure that there's a couple that are I'm sure that there's a couple that are being held back for the 12 and the 14 coming up as well. So hopefully that only strengthens the ranks, but very exciting. And Pikey, William Pike, the Wizard, flies out, rides at Morphettville on Saturday, flies back in to ride at Northam on Sunday. He's very much in demand and jet setting his way across Australia, and but he's back, and he will be taking them out on Flirtini for Simon A. Miller in the Northern Stakes.
Yeah, it would no doubt be sort of, I think we'll be at the pointy end of the market. So, no, very good. Looking forward to that on Sunday. And, also just the return of Northern in general. Now, BJ, best of the day?
Look, I can't do on the 1-1. And as part of the leg up, I thought my best of the day was Vedette the Star, get off to a flyer in race 1. But just as I mentioned in the preview, just talking to you and just reflecting on that race, and I think that this will test you. We'll definitely be getting some of mine.
Yep, no, I agree. And I'm going to go in race 5. Off we go, which hopefully from the race before, your probably other competitor, your other strong push for the day, Black Shadow. Hopefully the form lines look better after race 4, and off we go. Should be pretty hard to beat in race number 5. All right, that will do us for this week. BJ, once again, thanks for coming on. As always, if you want to hear a real deep dive on the card, go to the 1-1. BJ, so like you said, you had the McCormick family on.
Correct. Yeah, Peter and Scott, McCormick and Son bookmakers. They joined me on the 1-1 today in the absence of the Perth racing gurus. So yeah, definitely a deep dive, and I think some of that has rubbed off on the Wild West today. I think we've gone a bit over time, but if you're looking for that longer edition, that longer podcast, then the 1-1 WA Racing podcast.
Yeah, beauty. And as always, if you want to see more of my stuff throughout the week, cripsracing.com. But like you said, it probably has gone a bit over, but really enjoyed this. I think we've had some pretty good discussion. So thanks once again for coming on. Good luck to everyone on the punt over the weekend. And also just don't forget, with all these new stuff that Betfair's bringing in at the moment, if you don't have an account or you haven't been doing much betting there, well, there's probably no better time to kick off proceedings now. So cheers, guys. Enjoy the weekend. And until next time, gamble responsibly.